Peace to the gods and goddesses of Planet Kai. How y'all doing, Reflections? Back again, y'all. Some more good information for y'all, my gods and goddesses. Today's segment is going to be about Sarah Baartman, my gods and goddesses. And most of y'all know, I know most of y'all know this story. If y'all don't, well, we're going to learn about it today. It's a very sad story, man, of a beautiful black goddess. She was the first video vixen, y'all, and the first woman that been sex trafficked, put on stage for show, a prostitute, a stripper, whatever y'all want to call it. It's very sad, y'all, man. This shit's crazy. I'm gonna get into this shit though, y'all, today, man. Show y'all what I'm talking about. This is Sarah Baartman Reflections. See that, Reflections? Sarah Baartman was a fit, thick, curvy teen girl exploited by Europeans who displayed her large butt, hips, breasts, and vagina as a circus freak show to men all over London after stealing her from South Africa in 1804. See, y'all, when they invaded us, y'all, after they invaded and took over, y'all, they start exploiting and start going to different parts where we was at, exploiting our women and shit, man. As y'all can see, it says Europeans who display her large butt, hips, and breasts and vagina as a circus freak show. She was the first one that was put on stage as a show, man, because of how she was built. Y'all know our goddesses is beautiful, man. And, you know what I'm saying? Got bodies and shit, man. They women ain't had none of that. That's the reason why they, you know what I'm saying, nasty asses went down, try to exploit our women, man. They wanted our women, man. Look at this. Look how they did her, y'all. Look how they did our goddess, man. Let's read. Let's read. We're gonna learn something today. Discovered by British ship doctor William Dunlap, who persuaded her to travel with him on his ship to London. As soon as Dunlap laid his blue eyes on her brown skin, the little blood he could spare to rush to his head, connected to his brain, influenced him to formulate the plan to exploit young Sarah for money. So this man came and kidnapped this girl, man. Lured her out. And kidnapped this woman, man. And already starting to think of nasty shit and things, what he gonna do to her, man. Because they lusted after our goddesses, man. Look at this, y'all. This shit reflection. Keep reading. The little blood he could spare to rush to his head, connected to his brain, influencing him to formulate the plan to exploit young Sarah for money. Now, who was the first pimps, y'all? Who was the first pimps, Reflections? They was. Nigga. They was. They was pimping our women, prostituting our women first, nigga. They got us doing that shit, got us programmed like that. You feel me, Reflections? They started this shit, man. This was the exploitation of black women, man. This was making us starting to view our women as hoes and prostitutes. They gave us, they programmed that with that, you know what I'm saying, agenda. And this is a sex spell that they put on us, my Reflections. That's why it's strip clubs and shit everywhere. You know what I'm saying? Our women degrading themselves and shit, man, for money because of what they did. All these music videos, how they got our women hoeing and shit, man. Shaking their ass and shit, man. degrading themselves and shit, man. Our goddesses is to be respected. All on social media and shit. That's all you see. That's all we see, man. It's half nakedness, sex. They got the whole world fucked up, y'all. Because some shit that they did. Let's keep going, reflections. Oh, hard work, y'all. Influencing him to formulate the plan to exploit young Sarah for money, displaying her curves and little to no clothing as a freak in circus shows to stimulate the intrigue of white men from his own country in Europe who had never laid eyes on such covetous physical features on a woman. You see how they was fascinated with our goddesses? Y'all see how they was fascinated with our goddesses? Cause they goddesses wasn't like that, nigga. Cause they goddesses ain't had no asses or nothing, man. Our goddesses was beautiful. Nigga, ain't nothing like our black goddesses, y'all. I hate this was done to us, man. And they had us programmed like this, y'all. When they was the first ones to ever exploit our women and put them on stages as freak shows and prostitute them and sell them into sex trafficking and shit, man. They programmed our minds to have us look at our women like they hoes and shit, man. Cause how they, all because of this shit right here. They started this shit, man. And they pushed that agenda on our women and shit, man. You know what I'm saying? It's okay to do porn. It's okay to be shaking your ass on TV and shit, man. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Wearing booty shorts and shit. They started this shit, man. It's okay to be a prostitute nowadays, y'all. Our women out here, you know what I'm saying? And they programmed our women to hate us cause how we do them, cause how we view them. Cause they gave us that view. They programmed our minds like that. And how we do our women and, you know what I'm saying, treat them like they hoes when they not, man. And pimp them out and use them and shit. That all came from the oppressor. So, to my black goddesses out there, I'm sorry for all the things that our black gods have done to y'all, man, and viewed y'all. It's only because how they programmed us. You know what I'm saying? We gotta come out of that, my gods. You know what I'm saying? My kings. Cause I was programmed, you know what I'm saying? I was programmed like that too, man. I used to view my goddesses like that. Like they bitches and hoes, and that's how I treated them, using them and shit like that. All because, you know what I'm saying? How they programmed us to look at our women, man. So it's not our fault, goddesses. Don't be mad at us. We love y'all, man. I love y'all, and I'm sorry. I'm sorry for me ever disrespecting y'all. Y'all are the supreme goddesses. Y'all are the creators. Y'all created us. Y'all created this universe. Y'all created us to be gods. Well, let's keep going, y'all. Displaying her curves in little to no clothing as a freak show and a circus shows to stimulate the intrigue of white men from his home country in Europe who had never laid eyes on such covetous physical features on a woman. In the early 19th century, some Europeans of prestige obsessed with asserting their power through national supremacy, eugenics to fuel their hatred of any non-white race and stroke their superiority. European eugenicists viewed Baartman and her unusually large buttocks and genitals, which is her private area, as the scientific evidence to justify their prejudice and prove their bias against other races, particularly blacks, that they were inferior, oversexed, or Cro-Magnon in physique. How ironic is it then? See, y'all, you see, that's how they try to say we was inferior. So she was inferior because she had over large buttocks, because she had an over large, you know what I'm saying? But, and you know what I'm saying? Because our goddesses was real, you know what I'm saying? They had all that, you know what I'm saying? Still, due to this day, their women weren't built like that, so they weren't used to seeing. They weren't used to seeing shit like that, you know what I'm saying, y'all? Because they was coming out the Caucasus Mountains, you know what I'm saying? The Moors was just up there teaching them how to walk and, you know what I'm saying, straighten them out. You know what I'm saying? They women ain't had no asses. They had to get put on paddles. We had to stretch them out, y'all. They was coming out the caves, y'all. They ain't. That's why they exploited our women like that, because they women weren't like that. You know what I'm saying? These bitch ass motherfuckers, man. Let's keep reading Reflections. I'm sorry, y'all. I say we was inferior. How ironic is it then? How ironic is it then? These Caucasians, eugenicists, forefathers crawled on all fours out of the Caucasus Mountains. Unbeknownst to young Sarah, before the age of 17, she became a pawn in the fast-growing sex trafficking industry. Who started the sex trafficking industry, y'all? Huh? Who started the sex industry, y'all? Do y'all know how many sex underground tunnels, trafficking tunnels that they got in Washington, D.C., Las Vegas, California, Miami, Atlanta, nigga, Washington, D.C., nigga? It's an underground tunnel under the fucking White House, man. And all these underground tunnels are sex trafficking tunnels. That's why so many of our kids was getting kidnapped since 1975. 300 over some thousand of them, y'all. Come on, man. And they've been doing this for years, man. This was in the 1798, to be exact. We've been doing this shit for years, y'all. They was the first sex traffickers, the first pimps, nigga. They was disrespecting our goddesses, calling them bitches and hoes and shit, pimping them out, putting them for show, prostituting them. And they programmed our mind like that, nigga. To be like them, nigga. Come on, man. Yeah. Think about all the movies that y'all seen, nigga. That had the black man pimping out the black woman and shit and using her, nigga. And that played a role in our head, nigga. And we was programmed like that, nigga. Listening to these sellout rappers and shit and they music and shit, man. How they do, you know what I'm saying? They got us disrespecting our women, man. They programmed us like that. We gotta come out of this shit, y'all. This shit making me mad as fuck, man. They started the sex fucking trafficking industry, y'all. Come on, now. Y'all watch my last segment that I did on organ trafficking, man. How they killing our kids, man, through these sex trafficking tunnels and giving them to these fucking reptilian shapeshifters that they working with, nigga. For food, nigga. Unknowingness to the young Sarah, before the age of 17, she became a pawn in the fast-growing sex trafficking industry, which we all know who started that. Human trafficking, like in the case of baartman, exists not solely to sexually arouse a trick. You repeat that again, Reflection. Oh, you see it. Human trafficking, like in the case of baartman, exists not solely to sexually arouse a trick. Sex trafficking is a spiritual warfare. Dark souls live off the energy and essence of children, innocence. They receive this power through raping them. Y'all see that? Reflections is a spiritual warfare. These motherfuckers are soulless beings. They don't have a soul, y'all. They are the real devils. They are the real devils. And it's other extraterrestrial beings that we don't know, you know what I'm saying? That some of y'all don't know about, y'all. But they working with them. They working with these reptilians, these Pleiadians. You know what I'm saying? That come from different star systems, man. But you see, y'all, sex trafficking is a spiritual warfare. Dark souls live off the energy and essence of children, innocence. They receive this power through raping them. What kind of sick shit is that? Think how many of our kids been going through getting kidnapped and going through these sex trafficking tunnels, man. Going for being, you know what I'm saying, being taken for food, man, for these reptilians that live under fucking ground with them. I'm tired of this shit, y'all. I'm telling all this truth out. I don't give a fuck, nigga. That's on my kids, nigga. Fuck that, nigga. This shit got me heated, y'all. I'm vexed. It's the end of their world, though, man. We rising. Mother Nature is rising. The second sun is here with our ancestors. They ass dying. All of them. All they cities, everything they got, it's gonna be laid waste. We gonna rule again, reflection. But as we can see, let's keep reading, y'all. Sex trafficking is a spiritual warfare. Dark souls live off the energy and the essence of children innocence. They receive their power through raping them. As they rape Sarah Baartman, that is what rape is, not sexual. It's a spiritual extraction. They live off the innocence of the child they exploit. It is their fuel, their only taste of life. As they are the soulless walking dead, given the name Hot, Hottentot. So look, y'all. They gave her the name Hottentot. In other words of Hottentot meaning a hoe, or, you know what I'm saying? What y'all call today, dots. You know what I'm saying? Hoes. That's the name they giving her, man. So they started calling our women hoes and bitches and shit first, man. Tricks and all that shit, y'all. Programmers. Let's keep reading. Given the name Hottentot, Sarah spent 4 years in London, then was moved to Paris, where she continued to be degraded and forced to move her curviest body in a fashion not unlike twerking today. Sadly, these acts she was forced to perform. Look, they the one that started making our women, you know what I'm saying, dance for show in front of their faces naked, nigga. Yeah, they started this shit. They started this shit, man. That's why y'all think there's so many strip clubs and shit out here, man. Sex trafficking and shit going on. You know what I'm saying? All these big artists and movie actresses and shit, man. Was involved with this sex trafficking shit. And I can name a few, but I ain't gonna do that though. But I can, and I will, nigga. And I will. I'm gonna start exposing more and more shit. Yeah. Come on, man. They when I got our women out here being hoeing and shit. You know what I'm saying? All in videos and shit on TV. All you see is our black women saying God is being nudie and sexual, and you know what I'm saying? And that plays a role in our youth mind, y'all. They got the world fucked up. They got our women thinking it's okay to to be hoes, man. It's okay to be in, it's okay to degrade yourself. It's okay to be on social media degrading yourself, nigga. We got kids, nigga. We got kids, nigga. And I got a daughter, man. I ain't going for that shit, man. And I know a lot of y'all feel like how I feel, man. I'll die for this shit, y'all. This shit gotta, Sarah spent 4 years in London, then was moved to Paris, where she continued to be degraded and forced to move her curviest body in a fashion not unlike twerking today. Sadly, these acts she was forced to perform are commonplace today on Insta videos filmed and posted by women. Y'all hear that? Y'all see that? Now, unlike twerking to look, Sarah spent 4 years in London. This up there in Europe, Rome, France, and Italy. You know what I'm saying? Where these white motherfuckers is at? These 13 families and shit. These is your British royals. And the British royals today are reptilians. Well, I'm gonna get on now on my next lecture, y'all. I'm gonna break down what more about that is, but we gonna stay on topic. Sarah spent 4 years in London, then was moved to Paris, where she continued to be degraded and forced to move her curviest body in a fashion not unlike twerking. Sadly, these acts she was first forced to perform are commonplace today on Insta videos filmed and posted by women. So she was the modern day of, you know what I'm saying? Back then, they had her doing dance moves naked. You know what I'm saying? Forcing her to do this shit. Nigga, she ain't know she was doing. She was forced to do this shit, y'all. Not unlike twerking today, sadly, these acts she was forced to perform are commonplace today on Insta videos posted by women. And it's the same. Ain't no such thing as time, y'all. I'm gonna just tell y'all that. Time is man-made. They came with the concept of time from the reptilian, man. From the reptilian race. They gave them the concept of time. So, me saying back in the day, I'm saying it like, we just gonna say back in their time. You know what I'm saying? Fuck it. But it ain't no different from what today. You know what I'm saying? How you see our women, you know what I'm saying? Moving their bodies and twerking and shit and dancing and shit all on Facebook and on social media or whatever, Instagram, whatever. Nigga, in the music videos and strip clubs and prostituting out here and shit, bro. They started all this shit, man. They programmed our women like that, man. Like it was okay to do that shit, y'all. Our goddesses is to be respected, man. And our goddesses are supposed to, you know what I'm saying? They never degraded themselves like that, man. Never. Not unlike twerking today, sadly, these acts she was forced to perform are commonly placed today on Insta videos, filmed and posted by women of the same black race as Sarah. So y'all see where the same, you know what I'm saying, the same ology come from. When she was shipped to Paris, Sarah attracted the attention of French scientists, in particular Georges Cuvier, whose peers began to pimp Sarah as a prostitute. French scientists, in particular Georges Cuvier, whatever they weird ass names was, whose peers began to pimp Sarah as a prostitute. Who started prostituting our women, y'all? They programmed us like this, goddesses. I love y'all. They told her, if you're going to have sex with men for free, you might as well get paid off of it. Nigga, they was raping that woman. They was raping her, man. Come on, man. She ain't know what's happening to her. Shit's fucked up, man. She ain't even speak their language. Come on, man. She's from the Koan tribe too, y'all. Sarah Baartman, she's from the Koan tribe in South Africa. If you're going to have sex with the men for free, you might as well get paid off of it. That's they was saying. She was prostituted until she died in 1815 at the age of 25 from inflammatory and eruptive sickness, possibly syphilis. Y'all hear that, Reflections? She was prostituted until she died in 1815 at the age of 25 from inflammatory and eruptive sickness, possibly syphilis. Man, so they was prostituting this woman, raping this woman, and time, you know what I'm saying? And she was taken when she was 16. So she was being raped and all that shit, and prostituted and pimped and put on show, and was sex trafficked. And they did this to a few other goddesses, but she was the main one, y'all. And all this was going on until she was 25. You know what I'm saying? Of course she was gonna get sick, man. Them nasty motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? Them motherfuckers, the Europeans was nasty and dirty, man. They always have been, man. Sick. Come on, man. They come from the Caucasus Mountains. They brought all the diseases on us, man. There was always some dirty, filthy motherfuckers, man. And still carry that same trait. Filthy motherfuckers, man. And they're women too. Let's keep reading Reflections. Covier made a plastic cast of her body, removed her brains and genitals. These sick motherfuckers, man. After she died, they gonna do some sick shit like that. Pickled them and displayed them in bottles at the Musée de l'Homme in Paris. After 16 decades on display, more remains were finally moved from public view in 1974. So they had her remains on display for 16 decades in the British Museum, bro. After she died, bro. They wouldn't even bury her after she died. They kept her body for display. They won't even give her back to her home. They won't even give her back to her where she had came from. In South Africa, from the, you know what I'm saying? Because she from the Khoisan tribe. In South Africa, man. Shout out to the Khoisan tribe out there, man. You know what I'm saying? But they are supposedly the first Asiatic, you know what I'm saying, man. You know what I'm saying? That's what your Asians look like today, you know what I'm saying? The Khoisan tribe. Y'all can research that and look that up, y'all. It's a tribe in South Africa, man. They wouldn't even give her back to her people, y'all. They kept her body in a museum for display for 16 fucking decades. 16 fucking decades. When I told y'all these motherfuckers are soulless beings, you know what I'm saying? These motherfuckers are soulless beings, man. They animals. They have no conscience. You know what I'm saying? They pineal gland is decalcified. They don't have a soul. You know what I'm saying? They devils, man. And this shit still go on today. You know what I'm saying? They still carry the same agenda and programming today. This sex spell is still on our women today, man. Shit is crazy, y'all. After 16 decades on display, more remains were finally removed from the public view in 1974. So after 16 decades, they all suddenly want to remove some of the motherfucking remains. After 16 decades. Come on, y'all. Told y'all, these motherfuckers was spiced in they was spiced in the eugenics lab, nigga. With animal genetics, man. By nature. They like this by nature, man. They got an animal-like mindset, y'all. That's why they move like this, man. In 1994, then President Nelson Mandela requested that her remains be brought home. Sadly, 2 centuries after Sarah was made the first video vixen history, forced to display her body for free, many young women continue this tradition. Look, y'all, even Nelson Mandela tried to request her remains to be brought home. They still wouldn't do it. They still got her remains in the British Museum, y'all. And we gonna see that too. I'm gonna show y'all that. Come on, man. Finish reading this, y'all. Sadly, 2 centuries after Sarah was made the first video vixen history, forced to display her body for free, many young women continue this tradition, embracing the title of unpaid model of unpaid video vixen.